Hi, everybody. Welcome to Impact Catalyst. I'm Karen Chasson, Executive Director of the St. Petersburg Foundation. I have two guests today from Academy Prep Center of St. Petersburg, an outstanding private school that many of us think we know, but I think we might hear some surprising new facts from our guests today, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hello, yes. My name is Gina Burkett. And actually, I am a native of St. Petersburg, born at Bayfront Center, and had my education through the public school system here in St. Petersburg. Some of you might be familiar with St. Pete High. I'm a graduate of the Green Devils, and I am the head of school here at Academy Prep Center of St. Petersburg, and I'm going into my 8th year here as their head of school. And before that, I was actually an administrator in one of the local private schools here as well. And I'm looking forward to just having this conversation and talking more about how we can let St. Petersburg know a little more about us.
Hi, my name is Roxane. I am the grant specialist for the Academy Prep Foundation. So I serve all 3 of our campuses. Our St. Pete School is our founding school, and we also have 2 sister schools in Tampa and our newest school that opened in 2019 in Lakeland. So I'm a part of the development team across the bay.
So why don't you start with some of the basic contours of the who, what, where, and when of the school, how many youth you serve, and what makes your model unique?
Okay. Well, a lot of people probably don't know, the founders of the school were actually the owners of the trade winds. And I think probably just about everybody in St. Petersburg has maybe stayed there at one point or another here on St. Pete Beach. And before they retired, they asked their employees, where could we invest in St. Petersburg? If we want to be able to, retire and be able to do some positive things for the city, what would be the number one thing that you would say? And at the time, a lot of the employees were actually living here on this side of St. Petersburg and would kind of travel over across the city to the beaches, but actually lived very close here to Southside. And they were very displeased at the time with where education was in St. Petersburg, and actually said to the Fortune family, we would love for there to be a private school of some sort that was opened in the Southside part of St. Petersburg that would offer a private school education. So I don't know that a lot of people know that that's kind of how we started, that the Fortunes traveled the United States. They worked with a couple families here locally as well. And they found a model in, really I would say the New York area, and brought it here to St. Petersburg. And so at the time, we were an all-boys school. We started as an all-boys school, and our hours were from 7 a.m. until 9 o'clock at night. And so it wasn't a boarding school, but it was pretty close. So they started with about 5 or 6 young men and just kind of worked their way up. And we are now at 140 students, and we are co-ed, but we do teach our students gender separated. We're one of the few schools that are still doing that aspect of teaching. And we are staying as a 5th through 8th grade middle school. And the reason they decided to keep it a middle school is at the time that they opened the school, the graduation rate for African-American males that were here in this part of the city was really dismal. And they felt that we needed to see where were we losing our young men? Where were we losing them? Why was the graduation rate so poor at that time? And they found that it was actually occurring at the middle school level. It wasn't in high school. It was in middle school. So they said, rather than pour our efforts into an area that we already know there's a lot of high schools in the area, let's focus on the category, the time where we need to make the strongest emphasis. So our school is 5th through 8th, and we try to keep our classes on the smaller end. And we have a lot of different categories that we instill in our school. Like you said, what is unique about us? And I'll tell you a little bit about that as well. But any questions about just kind of our founding family and about who we are? Does that help a little bit to understand?
Totally. I have one question though. I think that the model I've read on the website has a name. What is the model that they brought from New York?
The Miguel Nativity System was the original model. And back in like 2012, apparently they kind of, stopped the model. But then I think a little bit later on, it kind of grew again. So I'm not really sure exactly where that model is now, but the original model was kind of copied from there.
It launched you and then adapted.
It was a network of schools. I don't think like the model per se stopped, but right, it was a network of schools, and so the network kind of stopped occurring. So like the schools weren't connected, but the model continued in different schools like our school, and it's a model that works for the economically disadvantaged students that we serve. So it wasn't that the model wasn't successful, it was just the network of schools stopped existing as a network.
Ceased their affiliation. Got it. Okay, thank you.
One of the things that they decided when they were looking to see if we should be a charter school or what type of private school, and look into exactly what we needed to do, they felt that sometimes that charter schools, there's certain things that you're able to do and not do, or you're not, if you want to adopt a particular kind of curriculum or things like that, sometimes you're limited in what you're able to do. And so after they did just their investigation into the various types of schools, they decided that we would just start as a private school. So we are a private nonprofit, and we raise all our own funds. And so that is a big part of who we are. And part of the thing is that every student that attends here does meet the free and reduced lunch program that is important for them, because one of the things that we want to be able to do is to offer a high level quality education for those who might not otherwise be able to afford it in their neighborhood. So I would say that the majority, at least probably 80 to 90% of the time, most of our families come within a 2-mile radius of the school. And that is something we like. It's not mandatory. It's not that you have to be within the 2-mile radius of the school, but because the founders did want to start a school that would impact the community in which they built it upon, we like that. We do embrace it. But if people move, or they move out of the area, or they move a little further, or if they even start, a little farther, that's fine as well. We don't offer transportation, so parents do have to bring their kids to school.
Let's take a second and welcome Lacey Miller. Lacey, you want to tell us who you are and what role you play at the school? Welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Lacey Miller. I'm the Director of Development at Academy Prep, and I've been with this organization now over 9 years. So I oversee the fundraising and all of the development efforts that we have on an annual basis. We have 3 major fundraising events. And of course, we also welcome guests on campus on a regular basis and provide tours so they can get an inside look at who we are, really understand our mission and how transformative we are as an organization. And that oftentimes will lead to volunteerism or donations.
Excellent. And since you have to carry the full load for all of your operations, right? If you're raising all the money, are there any federal, state, or city sort of educational allocations that come your way?
So all of our students, because they qualify for free or reduced lunch, qualify for Step Up for Students. So each of our scholars, they all come to us with Step Up for Student funding.
And tell us what that program is about, and maybe what sort of the equivalent dollar figure is.
Well, it's a state program. Step Up for Students is its own nonprofit. Corporations can make a contribution to Step Up and get significant tax benefits. And then those dollars can be allocated to qualifying students to put towards a private school of their choice.
So the funding follows the child.
Correct.
to their destination. Interesting. Good. Glad to know about that. Roxane, I'm curious about some of the data that you collect, some of the things that you do to help donors and philanthropy understand how successful your model is. Can you give us some of the high points that you like to touch on?
Yes, absolutely. So with our we have small class sizes, we have an extended school day, we have an extended school week, we have an extended school year. So kids are in school up to 11 hours a day, 6 days a week, 11 months out of the year. We start the school year with a June summer session, which is the kickoff for our year. So we're not circling back in August to review from the past year, which really helps our students, who a lot of them come in below grade level in fundamental reading and math skills. So the amount of time that they're spending with us in this rigorous program is helping our students get to the level of academic achievement that we see from them. So our overall results, since the school was established in 1997. So for all of our graduates since then, we have a 99% high school graduation rate for our students. We have an 83% college enrollment rate and a 9% military enrollment rate. So just amazing outcomes for our students. And we track these outcomes through our graduate support services program, which I think is one of the key aspects of our model that really gets us to that next level. So we serve 5th through 8th grade at our school. And then our graduate support services program follows our students through high school and into college. And they offer academic prep services, tutoring, counseling, SAT prep. And then they also help with any ancillary costs to help students with the cost of high schools and college. So a graphing calculator, a computer, clothes for a sports team if they want to be on a sports team. Some of the private schools that our students are being accepted to might even require a coat. So just things like that. So our kids aren't worried about a graphing calculator. They can focus on their academics. So those are our overall outcomes. I just actually had a conversation. We have a program at the school called the Academic Intervention Program. So when our students are coming in, we have some work to do. We only accept students in the 5th and 6th grade. That way we have 3 to 4 years to really work with them and get them up to speed. But we have our academic intervention program where we are identifying students who are behind in reading and math, and then they're getting one-on-one help with our AmeriCorps and with our specialists. And based on the information I got yesterday, last school year, we do the MAP testing, which is standardized testing 3 times a year. And from fall to spring, our students that were in the reading intervention program had a 10 national percentile ranking increase, a 10 percentile over the course of the year. And for math, it was a 5% increase. So not only do we have this private school education with the smaller class sizes where the teachers can really focus on the individualized plans for the students, but we also have this intervention program, and then we're following them through high school and college. So the model is just giving these students the support that they otherwise wouldn't have. And then you can just see that it works through the results. So 99% of our students who are predominantly students of color. I think this year, 100% of our students are students of color. So if you're looking at those outcomes for the county and for the state, it's just 99% is incredible. It really is year to year.
That's some really impressive numbers there. So have you had an experience where one of the public schools that may not have as much freedom as you'd have, but also could learn from some of your practices? Do you have a relationship with the public school system? Do you feel like some of the innovations that you're well positioned to take on trickle through the standard system that most of our children are, for better or worse, in?
Yeah, actually, we feel like the more schools that can implement some of the pieces that we have in our model, the better, because really what we want to do is impact children's lives. And the more that can be, the better. But I think not the problem, but when we've had some of the public school administrators here to visit, our campus, to maybe glean from some of the things that maybe they can do on a larger scale. So one of the things I will have to say is I have the utmost respect for those in education in the public school system. I need to be very clear, about that, but I do know that there are even private schools like us that aren't probably showing the kind of results that we have as well, that actually they can do things on a smaller scale that are still not able or not doing some of the things that we're doing. So we have had them come visit, take a look at the types of things to see if they can implement some of these things on a larger scale. One of the things that we do is we have something first thing in the morning called convocation. And all students are there at the very beginning of the day, and we have a series of things that we are going through. Each month has a type of either a character trait or a model or something, a theme in that month. So we had one month that was on leadership, another one on, believe it or not, on empathy and what empathy looks like and all the different angles that you can understand empathy, and so we have like a theme for the month. But in that, we also have pledges. We have a pledge of allegiance, of course, and then we have a school pledge that's actually quite moving. And it really just helps kids to repeat success, right? And speak it kind of like into their lives. And so if they get up in the morning and they're kind of a little cranky, not that any of us have ever done that, where you're just having a bad day, can't find your socks or your belt or this or that, or, your sibling took something and you can't find your Chromebook. It does help kids to get kind of in the right mindset. Even if they got here on the wrong foot, it helps them kind of bring it all in first thing in the morning to say, okay, I'm here at a place that I can have control of my life. And I am able to see the end product because of what I individually am putting into my life. And so I just think it's good. I've had corporate people come here to visit our school that visit convocation and will say, I need to bring that back to my company.
Kind of like a morning affirmation that your whole team can come together around. That's very cool. Thank you. I like that example a lot.
I think I would like to just also throw this out there that we welcome anybody who would like to come and experience convocation to come and see how we start our day and see what's. I think that's probably one of the best ways to really, in a short amount of time, get the spirit of the school. Yeah. So we welcome anybody who would like to come and join us for convocation.
So that's a great segue. As we sort of conclude the interview, I like to leave people with easy ways to follow up on what you just described. Also, hear anybody in the audience who wants to support you. What are some of the avenues to do that? And how can people make a connection? First of all, just knowing is a form of connection and appreciating your mission. So that will be a very widespread outcome, I think, of this program. But for those who want to take that engagement a step further, now's the moment to help us understand how to do that.
I would invite them to visit our website. And there's information and links there. I would invite anybody interested in learning more to reach out to me personally. I'm happy to share my email address, which is lnashmiller@academyprep.org. And I'm happy to have anybody call me as well. And I can continue this conversation, share information, or schedule a time for a visit.
One of the things that we say is that when people come to our campus, they don't know what hit them. I will just be very clear that if you come here, you will leave different and you will see something that you did not think existed in St. Petersburg. And they're just taken aback by how amazing our kids are here. And I will tell you, it's not by accident. Everything we do here is strategic. Everything we do here is strategic to help our students be successful. And so when they interview and talk to our kids and they come into classrooms and they see what we do here, they see how our kids respond. We work on critical thinking skills, speaking to adults. We work on all the soft skills that a lot of schools aren't teaching, and they see it when they get here. And when they leave, they're different. They're just amazed at what we do here at Academy Prep of St. Petersburg. And I don't say that lightly.
Well, I think I'm going to be scheduling an appointment for a tour.
That'd be great.
Me intrigued.
We love tours. And truthfully, our children they love to have guests. They love to have adults come to campus, and they're not afraid to talk to adults about what we're doing here or how they do things. And I think that is, like I said, one of the soft skills that we are not really teaching children in schools right now, is to have that comfort level in speaking with adults, being able to articulate what you're doing and how you're doing it. All those things come together to helping an individual be successful. Once again, those are things that really any school could adopt to improve their program. So as head of school, I've been in education for over 30 years, and I will honestly say that I have never been part of such a program that you can see the impact from the time a student arrives here to when they leave. They are a different person, a better person, a person who leaves here with more confidence and ability to succeed at the next level. And we are bringing students to places in their educational walk and journey that they never dreamed that they would reach. And I'm so blessed and thankful to be part of a program at this part in my own educational journey and career to be having that opportunity. So I welcome anybody who wants to have their life changed to come onto our campus and see what we're doing here.
That sounds pretty great. Thank you very much, all three of you, for sharing your passion and the story of Academy Prep. Now, let's see, it's called Academy Prep Center of St. Petersburg. There's a sister school in Tampa and in Lakeland. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yes. So 5 years later, after the flagship was born, about 5 years later, we had another one of our campuses open, same model in Tampa. And then 2019, we had our Lakeland campus open. So we have 3 campuses right now of Academy Prep Centers.
Excellent. Thank you, ladies, so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Karen. Thanks for having us.